Hello, Dave. This is the Mate Night Podcast. We are ranking every film ever made. This is week 2, Heat. We're going to let you know if the film is worth watching, even though our opinions are worthless. And we start with a gut reaction. That's how much we enjoyed the film. Ranking out of 10. You get 1 decimal place for that. So, we're going to kick it off. Jambo, gut reaction for Heat.
Are we 3, 2, 1 in?
Well, 3, 2, 1.
Am I going first?
I can't remember who was first last time.
I'll go first.
All right.
Right.
3, 2, 1.
8.7.
7.5.
Oh, Freddie, what is it? Just...
Fuck Heat.
You didn't like it?
No, it was all right. It was good. It was 7.5.
Yeah, it was all right. 7.5. Yeah.
I was like,
I don't know why
I was thinking Jumbo might give this a high score. So I was ready to just... ready to fuck Heat right away.
That would be because it's a good film.
It's decent. That's a very, very high score there.
Yeah, I really liked it. Well, I gave Psycho an 8.6 and I was like, it's better than Psycho.
Well, what was you were talking... For those, I don't know if we'll end up cutting that intro because we spoke for about 40 minutes, but we went through the database, which for anyone not in the know, new listeners, we go through these films and we rank them as we just did with gut reaction, and we're going to go through a few categories again in a bit. And Jamie had the database up and was trying to work out what his gut reaction score was going to be.
Yes, sir.
So obviously it was between Psycho and...
Yeah, it's 8.7, which would put it 1.1 above Psycho, 8.6, and then above that is The Thing and The Godfather. And I was like, that just fits between those very well for me.
So,
but much closer to Psycho than Godfather Heat. To be honest with you, I can't believe that Godfather and Heat didn't get above 9.
Yeah.
Like Godfather and The Thing.
Well, I gave it above 9, The Thing.
Good man.
Yeah. I think if you redid it... That's
unusually accurate for you.
I'm very accurate.
7.5.
My scores never change.
That is just I'm in a movie about it.
7.5. I thought it was an all right film. I would say above average. I don't think I'll ever watch it again in my life.
Why?
I don't know. It was... You know what? I was really looking forward to it. I was like, bank heist film.
Yeah.
2 greats. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. I love a cat and mouse.
Yeah.
I love a romp. I know it's not really a romp, but I was like,
it's not a romp.
There might be a propensity for rompiness in there. And I just felt it was... I don't know, maybe it's because it's like an originator for these like heist, let's get a crew together films.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I kind of felt it was a bit stale. But I don't know, it just felt very Hollywood.
For all that crew getting together that they did.
No, but there was a crew.
There was a crew. Oh, that is just unacceptable.
At one point, one of them got together.
Unforgivable.
Raingrow or whatever his name was.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, look, I wanted to talk about that. Because if I had any gripes with the film...
There were many for me.
Like, Waingro.
What? Your gripe was, is it going to be his name?
That's a little bit of it. But why was he there at the start?
I don't know. There were loads of things.
He had no jobs.
There were loads.
There was somebody doing his job of like looking after the police guys. There was just no need for him at any point. Yeah,
I think that there were things that they put... Now, following the watching of this film, following me going like, all right, fine. It was good, kind of. I thought about all these moments where I was like, that was weird. What a weird decision. And I did watch one little interview with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Michael Mann, the director, being moderated by Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
It was a 20-year anniversary, I think, and it was just the 3 of them. And obviously, Nolan's a big fan. I mean, looking into it, there's a lot of big fans of this film, and I am not one of them. And there seemed to be things that I didn't like that seemed pointless, that there must have been some sort of decision for. Because Pacino mentioned one, and I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But they didn't explain any of it. So, Waingro, is that his name? Have we got his name right?
It's definitely Waingro.
You sure?
No. Why would anybody be called Waingro?
Let's see if I've written it down.
Why was he there? Like, I genuinely...
I imagine there was a reason, but it wasn't explained.
It wasn't very clear, was it? He was, unlike any of the other crew, he was completely unnecessary.
Fucking nut job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
how was he? Not only why was he there, so there was a need for another member for some reason.
Yeah.
Did they not vet him at all? He just walked into their van. There were a few things. This was like these guys are so professional. Do you remember Pacino's going mental every time? I think this guy's the best. This is the best.
He was.
Whoa, the best we've ever seen.
Yeah.
But he made a lot of like. All right, the grill man at the end.
The grill man at the end.
The guy who joins their crew last minute.
Yeah, that was a bit. Yeah. That was a bit dumb. That
last minute, you're in. Are you going to do it? Wayne Grove. Obviously,
they've worked together before.
They had worked together before. I mean, what a massive coincidence!
And he was in prison, so it clearly wasn't very good.
So we're led to believe this guy's a criminal mastermind, but he has done time. There were a couple of cool decisions he makes, and a couple of cool things he did, but he also did things that were a bit suspect, like Wayne Grove, like last minute. All right, this is obviously looking like we shouldn't rob this bank because the signs are pointing towards the fact that, well, first and foremost, I just had a coffee with the guy who is trying to arrest me. Surely for a guy who has, really minimal commitment to the cause, can back out at any moment.
Yeah.
He seems to be taking a lot of risks that are completely unnecessary.
You know what, mate? Yeah, okay, fair enough. He didn't need to take that heist to the end. I don't know why he did that.
And not only take the heist to the end, your main guy, Trejo...
But you use a grill man to drive.
The grill man can do the job. The grill man...
It wasn't actually...
He was dead instantly.
He didn't know him. He was just some random grill bloke.
The grill man was dead before anyone fired a shot. He was heading to the wheel.
He wasn't very good at driving or grilling.
Also... I know we're skipping ahead a bit here, but that shootout scene didn't do it for me.
Yeah, can you keep on to one thing here, please, mate? Right. Because we're on Wayne Grove 5 minutes ago.
This film is shit.
It's such a good film. It's so good.
All right, God. Why was it good?
Okay, so there were unbelievable sequences with dialogue, right? That coffee shop, you have to admit this bit, the conversation where they have the coffee. In fact, no, not even that, but even leading up to it, where he's in the chopper and then they drop him down to get in this car and they play just this needlessly cool soundtrack to him, like racing through LA. Yeah. And then he just pulls him over and he's like, let's go for a coffee. It's just very, very cool. And then they go out for coffee and they have the most iconic conversation ever with like every other line is just quotable forever.
So for anyone who hasn't watched this film, this is the setup. There's a cat and mouse game between a master criminal who's robbing banks, chasing tail, got a crew, getting a crew together. Some of the crew have been there a while. Some he just lets on board any moment.
Found at the scrapyard.
Al Pacino's character is the detective, former Marine, which I found out from a small bit of research, who's, he's also quite big brain. He's going to find out how to track down this criminal mastermind. Quite quickly realizes this guy's a cut above the rest of the Johns that he's nicked in his time. And so they're in this situation where there's a back and forth, mutual respect. Al Pacino tracks him in a helicopter or some bollocks, and then on a freeway.
You're just unforgiving of everything here. This is totally explainable that they were in a helicopter.
It's fine, yeah. No, that bit is the helicopter is perfectly reasonable. But
slight overkill.
He decides, you know what, I'm going to have a word face to face.
Yeah.
I need to see this guy. It's a really big deal that I see him face to face.
Put the cards down.
Cards on the table. I did feel, and I've seen this scene before because it's a very famous scene. Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, for a bit of context, had never starred in a film where they were sharing a scene. They had been in Godfather Part 2 together, but they'd never actually been face to face. So this was quite a key it was actually quite a key bit of the marketing for the film, was that these two guys are acting together, unsurprisingly. I felt that that scene in particular was just a very forced, this is the cool scene. Don't you all? Look, everyone, we all think this is cool, especially us two actors in it.
What are you talking about?
Hey.
What are you talking about? How could
smug.
it possibly have been so cool? And you think that the reason that it's wrong is because they wanted it to be cool.
They were trying to tell you how cool it was. And I was like, nah. They both looked like they were enjoying the smell of their own farts.
Right, okay. Well,
is Pacino a good actor?
No. No, that was one of my crimes. He was not a very good actor throughout most of the movie.
He was all over the shop. I used to be, without watching either of their films, I used to think that Pacino was a guy I'd like. Because I was like, everyone says De Niro's the best actor, or one of the best of the late part of the 20th century.
Yeah.
He's usually people's, he's a bit of a consensus number one.
Right.
He goes Brando, after Brando, people would probably say De Niro.
Brando's one of the best of, really?
Yeah, big time.
Right, okay.
Marlon Brando, like 50s, 60s Brando. Yeah, it's a game changer.
Right.
So De Niro is American actors.
Yeah, one of the best.
Tip top.
Yeah.
Pacino, I think I'd be right in saying that the common consensus is that Pacino's not as revered as De Niro, but they both have done loads of great work.
Yeah.
So I always was like, underdog, Pacino, he's the guy I prefer. I'm going to prefer him. And I hadn't actually watched anything with him in it.
Yeah.
And I thought he was wanking this.
He wasn't a very good actor, was he? No. I was going to bring it up and say to you, like, oh, I thought maybe, Pacino wasn't that good, and kind of see what you thought. I was being a bit gentle about it with him, but his delivery was just, like, there were...
Give me all you got!
Well, I mean, like...
Give me all you got!
You could make the case for him kind of playing a very eccentric character.
Yeah.
But there were just some lines which were just...
Great ass!
They were just delivered wrong,
Yeah.
Some of them were just delivered very strangely.
Every time he was in a scene with some sort of... some sort of like interrogation-y scene, or if he was going to see some informant, that was when I particularly felt like, who's he pretending to be?
Yeah, it kind of felt like it didn't, like the real iconic things that he said and didn't really fit with the rest of the film.
He was like trying, and I tell you why. I found out why this was as part of my little research into this. He, in this interview that I spoke about earlier with Christopher Nolan, said, I want to make a point about some of the decisions I made, the character, and essentially he is a cokehead, but him and the director decided this guy's a cokehead. He's always
Hanna,
you can assume
Lieutenant.
that Hanna, before he goes into any scene, that's Pacino's character's called something Hanna. What's his? Kevin or something. Do you remember what his name is?
Lieutenant, wasn't it?
Lieutenant something Hanna. I can't remember his name. But anyway, we'll call him Hanna.
We'll call him Connor.
Yeah. So Hanna, you can assume that Hanna's just fucking sniffed a key just before he's hopped into any room that he comes into. And so Pacino is like, that's the reason for some of my choices. As if that explains
no, you
all
could
your
you could
choices.
give devil's advocate for the character that he played being very weird and out there. That might have been a choice. But there were the deliveries of some lines. What I noticed was, like, if you watch a really bad acting sequence, there will be a little pause between when two people speak, where they're kind of waiting for them to say their line and then they'll return with their line.
In like films?
In more like...
Theatre.
More like online films.
Are we thinking of the same sort of films?
We're thinking of bad acting, Fred. But no, where they will have their. It feels like the energy of the sequence will be like super high paced. They'll be arguing or something, but but in reality they would kind of be talking over each other just a little bit, the tail end of each sentence, and they don't. What he kept doing was he would kind of wait for them to finish, and then he would say his line, and it just felt very mechanical. I wanted to find some scenes to show you, but I kind of figured like in the podcast it don't really work anyway.
Yeah.
But if you watch it, like, yeah, he played a weird character at times, but the lines that he delivered when he wasn't being eccentric weren't even that well delivered. Like, they were just kind of a bit weird. Like, they were just a bit poorly timed. It just didn't feel very natural. It didn't feel like the character was delivering them. It felt like the actor was delivering them. And I just felt like he wasn't that good.
It's my understanding from listening to other people talk about him that there was a bit of a change in him from... I guess the 70s. So when The Godfather came out, Dog Day Afternoon, I don't know which other big ones he was in at that time. Serpico, maybe. So there's like 70s and 80s Pacino, where he's in what many would say is his best work. And he didn't ever get an Oscar for any of those. He ends up winning an Oscar for Scent of a Woman, which I want to say is like late 80s, maybe early 90s. So basically he was nominated loads of times and everyone was like, oh, how's this guy not won? And then he won for one which maybe he didn't deserve that much. It's like he plays all I know is he plays a blind guy. That's seems
a little easier to play.
Yeah. And he's overdoing it. Like,
right.
He's overdoing this.
How can you overdo blindness? You're not either blind or not blind.
He's smacking the cane that he has.
I'm not just blind, guys.
I'm well blind.
I'm very, very blind. I can't see anything.
So he's playing this really blind guy. Not just blind, but he's fucking well blind.
He's the blindest.
And I've heard that he... I should stress I've not watched any of these films, but apparently he didn't...
And he didn't act in any of them. The last 5 minutes just completely made it all up.
Stop listening. But Pacino... Potatoes. Al Pacino didn't deserve to win an Oscar for the film that he won an Oscar for, which came out 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
And apparently there was like this turning point where he just really hams up everything he's in. And this is definitively after that turning point.
Yeah.
So he is one of those classic examples where Pacino is really... He's a guy who is like, I don't downplay any of my roles, right?
I think like it creates very iconic lines. You know, like a couple of them. You probably got some prepared. Who? What are you, a fucking owl? Who? That reused in Scorsese, wasn't it? In Wolf of Wall Street.
Was it?
Yeah. Margot Robbie says it. Like, who? What are you, a fucking owl? Who?
Okay, maybe it's just a
very iconic line. Great ass. Another iconic.
Great ass.
Great ass. Yeah, that whole scene just very, very cool.
See, I thought that was a bit out of nowhere. I've heard that said before. Yeah. Obviously, people taking the piss, but I didn't know what it was from.
Yeah,
he clicks a lot. Did you notice that?
I was gonna say not just that he clicks a lot, but God, he was good at it.
Yeah, it was snappy.
Like every time, he wouldn't even click on camera, and you would just hear the thud as his finger.
Yeah. Maybe he just learned how to click or something like that. He was like, I'm gonna bring this. I'm really good at this.
Every time I get a chance, I'm just gonna click at them. Yeah, he was.
Your daughter's tried to kill herself.
Listen up. Yeah, I mean, like. I want to come back to the daughter thing.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, I want to come back to that. But yeah, he had. I think that the character that Al Pacino played creates very iconic lines, very iconic moments, but isn't very good acting. Like I spent the whole time watching Pacino, not Detective Hanna. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
it was very, very clearly an acting performance. I didn't buy.
Whereas with De Niro, like he was really good.
Oh, he was absolutely bloody excellent.
Yeah,
He's
it made
so
me.
good.
I'll tell you what, it made me want to watch more De Niro films.
I could get on board
Maybe
with that.
definitely could get something going for a De Niro.
We should see if there are any films with any of the people that we're starting to favourite together in. I mean, I'm guessing
Kurt Russell.
I'm guessing there's not going to be many Kurt Russell, Robert De Niro.
Might be. Kurt Russell's been around a while.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, De Niro.
Oh God, that would be a good film.
The problem is with these big guys is like they come from a time where you had the starring actor, and so unless you're in these ensemble pieces, like Heat's an ensemble, a big ensemble cast, you wouldn't necessarily see many films where a lot of them would be together because one person would get top billing.
Yeah.
It's like in this one, it's like who would get top billing out of De Niro and Pacino, really?
Well, I mean, I was able to approach this film with reasonably fresh eyes from it wasn't tainted by the whole ensemble thing, because other than Godfather, I haven't seen either of these two really in anything. I think I watched Taxi Driver, which
I haven't watched this.
Yeah, didn't like that. But it was years and years and years ago. I was very young at the time.
Right, okay.
But I wasn't going into it like, oh, these are huge name actors and I can't wait to see them in it together. I just went into it able to kind of just watch it as it was. Right. And I came to the exact same conclusion, which is Pacino's not a very good actor and De Niro was bloody excellent.
Yeah, he is good. He's great with that. Just like staring through people sort of in a conversation.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer. Did you notice how Val Kilmer always looks like he's a mouth breather?
You're going to have to remind me which one Val Kilmer is.
He's the one who, the first scene he was in, he's the blonde guy with a ponytail.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Maybe the only one who got away. And I know he did get away because did you know there's a Heat 2?
I did not know there was a
Neither
Heat 2.
did I. Yeah.
Well, we are watching that.
Heat 2. Electric Boogaloo. I believe.
What the fuck?
So, first scene he's in, I can't remember what he's getting, but it's just after De Niro really easily stole that ambulance.
Well, yeah. I mean, did you not see how like he just fit there? Did you not
Just
think?
walked
He
straight
just
through.
walked. I'm going to try that.
Yeah. They really maybe need to look at how they are. How they're protecting their property at that hospital.
Yeah, I mean, why were the keys? Where did he get the
Did
keys?
he must have hotwired it, surely.
Maybe.
But it was more just kind of walking through. I know it's like, look,
At the very, very
what
start
master
of the
criminals-
film,
this is how-
it's setting up the initial premise to the film. So basically, there's a heist right at the start where they're robbing an armored van. And they need a couple vehicles. They need an ambulance to kind of stop it in the right spot. They need this big truck. The big truck knocks it over. They get everyone out. And the inciting event to the story is that the maverick that they took on completely needlessly shoots a bunch of people. And now they've got heat on them.
So yes. The film is called Heat.
Is it now?
So in order to get our first few scenes are the crew getting the equipment, the required equipment for this job. So one of them being this ambulance, and in order to get the ambulance, we have the opening scene. I think is De Niro just walking through a hospital to the bit where the ambulance is parked and then driving off with an ambulance.
Have you not seen Grand Theft Auto?
So, yeah, really easy to do. He does that. And then as Jamie mentioned, we have this one character that he gets in. He's picked up by one of the other members of the crew. There are 4 members in total and this character. Danny Trejo's one of them. Val Kilmer's one of them. Robert De Niro. Don't know who the other guy is, but I think he's in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So those guys, and then we've got this new guy who looks quite a bit like, remember in Rick and Morty when Pickle Rick fights that guy? Looks a bit like him, doesn't he? Kind of a bit like scruffy, homeless Jesus sort of vibe. He hops in, and all he's saying is, "You guys are a tight crew, like." I hear you guys
asks for a refill on his coffee and then walks off for a little bit of sort of. Do you not see that?
Oh, I missed that.
Like his first thing that he does just so that Michael Mann really shows us this guy's a dick. He walks up and he goes, "Can I have a refill?" And then just walks off.
Nice, right.
So we're like, okay, this guy's a dick.
This guy's a dick, right. And he also, later on, has a penchant for murdering prostitutes as well.
Yeah.
Bad person.
Just think, because
but I tell you what he's very good at.
We needed...
Very good at disappearing from the ground out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. This isn't a very good film, is it?
So, anyway, he shows up, and he's just immediately like, "You guys are a tight knit crew, aren't you?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're very tight knit." And then, well, this one guy is going, "Slick, shut up, Slick, stop talking, Slick." And we see immediately, okay, this Waingro, so Street Jesus, he's got a bit of something, because he looks at him like, I'm gonna fucking murder you right now.
He looks a bit crazy. And he left
Why
his
is
coffee.
he there?
Yeah.
It makes no sense that this team that we've already identified, they are a tight knit crew. Yeah. These are professionals, but they've just added this guy on board. He's literally picked up in a truck. They've clearly never met him before.
Yeah.
So he comes in. Immediately, this other guy should be thinking, he's looking a bit batty right now. Is this guy all there? Is he gonna jeopardize this heist that we're about to do?
Look at his haircut. Is he professional?
Yeah.
Really?
What's going on here? Waingro?
Yeah.
That's
Why
not
don't
a
you
name.
stop letting it grow and just shave it all off? It's terrible.
So anyway, they do go on the heist, and as Jamie said, it goes quite disastrously. He thinks that some guy looks at him funny, so he shoots him. Now, one really cool thing that happens is basically he shoots one of those three people who are trying to protect these bonds that are in a kind of like those delivery like armored van that's moving this cargo. One of them looks at Waingro funny, so he pops him, and then another one tries to grab his gun, and one of the crew shoots him before he can take any of them out. Mm-hmm. So the other guy, and I might also add that all of these guys have exploded eardrums, so they're all deaf. The other guy is just there kind of like palling about, trying to work out what's going on. And
very clearly not a threat.
De Niro's character's just like, right, do him. So they shoot him as well, because they're like, why leave any witnesses?
We've already murdered somebody, so why not make it 3?
Pretty cool. Outside of this maverick element, and why on earth
he keeps adding
on board.
Random people to this heist.
So later they actually decide this guy needs to go. This guy who we've added to the crew for no reason is a liability. Surprise, surprise. So they bring him to a bar. De Niro bangs his head on a table. Yeah. People look about and go, "What's going on here?" But don't worry, the other members of the crew,
very threatening,
just look over threateningly.
Yeah, right. Go on, say something.
Yeah,
go on, intervene.
Especially Val Kilmer, who does look.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they really need to be drawing attention to themselves in that scene, but yeah.
Val Kilmer, who Rachel says the first scene he's in, Rachel goes, "Is that Caitlyn Jenner?"
No, she did not. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I can get on board with that.
So they drag him out. They're going to pop him. They're going to do him and put him in the boot. Police car comes, so they all
pause.
By the way, what he's done is he's thrown him on the ground. He's got his gun ready. He's about to fire a gun into his head.
6 inches from his
Literally
head.
Turns over. There's 5 of them surrounding the area.
Yeah.
And just, okay, wait for the police car to come. And they do the classic pan the camera back and he's
looks
gone.
down and he's gone. And
He's
like,
disappeared.
There is just no way on
noticed.
God's green earth that this guy, this fully grown man, just got up and left right in front of you and you didn't notice.
Yeah. So
yeah, that was an annoying plot point. Yeah.
And a lot of my main gripes with it were, okay, so we set our stall out with these characters. I know the idea is that De Niro's character could give things up at a drop of a hat, and he's very clear that, look, you got, never have anything in place, so you're not willing to leave in 5 minutes when you see the heat round the corner.
You butchered that, mate. Sorry.
Something like that, though. It's spot on, that line. And so the only thing that the idea is that the character actually does find things that he cares about. So this bizarre romantic relationship that comes out of nowhere with.
Yeah, you know you're going to get me on board with this. What the hell were
Here we
they
go.
thinking? What were they thinking?
How can you have an 8.7 with the love story like that? It was all over the place.
I'll tell you why it got an 8.7, Fred.
Yeah, why?
Because it
what
had
did you
a
think
great driving force.
Why? What is it though that you actually really liked about the film?
I really, really, really liked the crew. I liked the professional element of the crew. I liked the characters. I know that the acting wasn't that good from Pacino, but I liked the characters that were portrayed in those two. Sort of where they're both two sides of the same coin. The action at the end was just fantastic. I thought it was just so much fun to watch. Like, it was very, very exciting.
Are you talking specifically about the shootout or beyond the shootout?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to just bring up the shootout and just kind of see what you thought. Basically, for those listening, the shootout, it's the big final heist at the end. They've really got the heat on them, but they need to do a big heist at the end. They run into a bank, they take a load of cash, they come outside, and Pacino's already on them, shoots the driver, and they have to shoot their way out in a very, very public way. Now, that whole sequence was just very, very, very exciting. I don't know exactly why or how, but Michael Mann just managed to make it. Now, there was one real cool thing that I liked about it. There was a detail where at the time, I thought, wow, the sound effects, the gunfire was just phenomenal. It was so exciting. Like, it just felt so real and so close. And it turns out that the gunfire is usually dubbed in a film afterwards, but they had microphones near the guns on set recording the actual sounds of gunfire that was going off. And so a lot of the kind of ex-military people who've had real gunfire are like, yeah, this is exactly what it actually sounds like. And so it wasn't kind of overdone, the gunfire sounds. And so that one little detail really kind of brought that sequence together for me a bit. There were a lot of problems with the plot, but it was more like gripes. The actual excitement of the whole thing was just, it was very, very fun to watch. I really liked the cat and mouse element of it. I mean, I could pick it apart for hours though. There's a lot to pick apart.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question for you, Fred. Was Edie a complete psychopath? Because she knew exactly what De Niro had done. Right? She'd met him once. And then she was willing to leave everything to go with this guy who was responsible for the death of, like, probably quite a lot of civilians and also police officers.
She had no friends.
Yeah.
She was in a new location. She was hitting on random strangers in bookstores. He said, "You come from a tight-knit family." Oh, I can't remember the De Niro accent.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah. Obviously, she must be a psycho.
I've got a quote from that scene I want to bring up.
Yeah,
that exact moment in that conversation.
That whole scene's
He says, "Where are your family from?" And she says, "Oh, my family are originally Scots-Irish. They emigrated to Appalachia in the 1700s.
Right. So
That's 300 years ago. You're American. Let it go.
Maybe it's because, like, he's obviously Italian.
Where are you from, Freddie? Yeah, I'm from Africa. My family moved over here about 100,000 years ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's true.
Let that go, man. You're American.
I found that, well, that's a big thing in America, isn't it? Like, they all think that they're not. They all think that they have interesting ancestry.
Says the guy who supports Wales in the bloody Six Nations.
Oh, mate, don't even start.
Don't even start.
They played England yesterday, and again, the older I get, the more I'm like, I don't know why I'm still keeping up this pretense. I can't help it.
You're in too deep now.
So I remember finding that whole flirtation scene on the rooftop very weird.
Yeah, great green screen.
Yeah, green screen. I mean, it was more. It felt like I think it was the music. The music for it,
phenomenal
for that scene.
And I don't know.
I thought it felt like the intro to an R&B music video, or like a bad porno.
How often do you watch R&B?
It was like, and then they're like, where are you from?
Yeah. You got a tiny family. It's like, what?
Yeah. I'm from the Appalachian Mountains or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
And then obviously they have this really aggressive kiss. Did you think?
Yeah, that was weird.
Super like intense kiss, where I noticed that this must be a directing choice, but I kind of had a regular kiss, and you're like, all right, fair enough. That's where this was leading. And then they held on it for a minute, and then it just went really intense, and he started attacking her mouth.
I felt uncomfortable in every kiss.
It was a horrible thing. And then, obviously they must have had a great time, because he ended up realizing this is the one for him. Didn't force her into staying with him. He kind of caught hold of her after he'd done the heist.
She chose to stay with him.
She definitely did choose to stay with him, and he did. Fair play. Sack her off at the end after all of this. Yeah, you're the one.
So now she knows she's a horrible person, and she doesn't even get the thing that she did it for.
So his thing throughout the film was you shouldn't have anything in place that you couldn't leave at a moment's notice when you see the heat coming around the corner, right? Yeah. And then the whole character arc of him was actually, he did realise family's important. I've fallen in love. There's a scene where he's sat at a table with the crew, and the crew have all got their mistresses around. Yeah. Their girlfriends, I should say, the wives, partners. And they're looking at them all, and he's like, man, I'm missing out. I don't have anything here. So he hops off. Is that like a dinner, kind of like a kind of fancy
Finds the
dinner?
nearest phone.
Finds a phone, calls this woman he met a week ago and says, I need to see you. You're the one for me. We need to make a go of this. This wasn't a one night for me. Yeah. And she was like, no, it wasn't a one night for me, surrounded by her graphic art designs.
Yeah.
So then that was enough for him to turn, and you're like, okay, fair enough. I'm invested.
Were you?
He is. Well,
I wasn't.
I was like, this is the choice they've made. He is the character realizes that I actually need to reevaluate what my principles are, because I've fallen for someone. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm in. And then she finds out that he's a bank robber. One small little bit as well. All this, when they decide to do this bank heist.
Yeah.
During this whole thing, it becomes apparent to them that the police have decided to follow them, because they've worked out that this is a crew that did the original heist. So about halfway through the film, it's known by everyone that they are the heisters. Mm-hmm. These are the guys that we need to track. All the police are going to be following them at all points. And then the heisters also find out that the police are following us. So everyone's in the know, which of course later leads to this scene in the coffee shop where they're next to each other. So that's all known about. This guy's super cautious criminal mastermind says he's never going to go back.
Yeah.
And then they all say, so this second bank heist that we're thinking about, should we really be doing this? Is this the... Yeah. Everyone knows we are trying to rob banks. Yeah. Everyone knows. They've all seen our face. They're following us daily. Yeah. Is this a good idea?
And then De Niro goes, don't worry, what we'll do is we'll go to a shipyard. We'll point in some directions and they'll leave it.
We'll do the old switcheroo.
Don't worry, guys.
But
it's fine.
De Niro specifically says, look, I've got somewhere I need to be. It's worth the stretch.
Yeah.
Robbing a bank is surely quite a long stretch, particularly when you bring in the heavies.
Yeah.
And you're potentially going to be taking hostages. You're going to be threatening people with weapons.
Child hostages.
Child hostages. At one point, someone just grabs a child. And then Pacino decides, I'm going to take this guy out.
One of the guys, when the bank robbery goes wrong, takes a child hostage. And Pacino just decides to take the shot anyway.
And Pacino thinks, I can take it.
I got this.
Me and Rachel were watching this. And Rachel goes, is he going to shoot? He's literally got a child picked up. the guy is running with a gun in it, a fully loaded semi-automatic way. I don't know guns, and he's got a child in the other arm who is like face to face with him. He's going like, "Oh, I'm taking you here." Child's crying, lost his mother. There's been bullets everywhere. horrendous gunfight. The guy's like, "Okay, this is my out." Pacino is like, "I've got this.
Don't worry, guys.
I am not part of the SWAT team. I'm just a beat cop.
I am a detective. I'm a detective with a gun.
I'm on loads of cocaine. I can get this one." And to be fair to him, he absolutely sinks it. Nails the shot, as is expected.
Well, I imagine in the debrief...
surely that's not procedure.
Imagine in the debrief afterwards, it was a bit of an awkward...
Hannah, what the fuck?
Can we just double check what went on down there? Because it looks a lot like the guy had a child hostage and you didn't want him to get away with some cash, so you shot him.
You shot him in the head.
Yeah. But I was good at hit, wasn't I? Yeah, that was mental. That was a crazy decision-making process. He was a bit of a crazy guy, though.
And also, so De Niro goes, "I could do the stretch. I'm happy with the stretch." I mean, he clearly has enough money. He's on the high rise of these buildings. Already has said, "I want to go to Fiji with the missus." But, all right, I'm going to
turn into New Zealand.
Turn into New Zealand. I think he's been studying too many metals and he hasn't done enough geography. Then he goes, does the heist. It's a disaster because they get tipped off. And then this shootout scene, which I didn't like, because how on earth did two of them make it out of that?
Yeah.
Like, they were completely surrounded by, 10 squad cars? Blocked their exit. They were being shot at, crossfire, from in front and behind. The driver's
and the
taken
odd person
out.
to the side.
And then there's some guy to the side twatting them from the side as well. Two of them managed to just go front and back. We're just going to walk our way through a whole squadron of police cars shooting at them.
De Niro's carrying his mate and about 5 million cash.
Caitlyn Jenner gets shot in the neck and De Niro just starts carrying him and firing, and it gets to the point.
He walks off and no one chases him.
It's like the Star Wars issue where the stormtroopers can't hit you, but you always hit them every time.
They did hit him.
They hit him once, and Pacino obviously managed to shoot the guy in the head and traumatize a child for life. But I was watching this, I was like, for God's sake. And then I was like, oh my God, how did they make out of that? And then I looked and there was 40 minutes left in the film, and I was like, Jesus, man, where are we going from here?
Well, yeah, okay. It wasn't a very good film, was it?
No, it was all. You know what? I gave it over 7. It was better than average.
I tell you what.
I don't know why.
I think it was the same thing as what we take the piss out of me for saying in Casablanca, where there were a lot of mistakes, but there were also a lot of very, very good moments.
Yeah.
And so one of the moments which has just cropped up a minute ago that I was just thinking about was the drop where Van Zandt is setting them up to die.
Yes, yeah.
That was so cool. That was
There's
so
a lot
cool.
of cool. And straight after that,
very quick exposition. Basically, we know they're going to get double crossed. The protagonist, the crew, De Niro's gone to collect some cash, give something back,
so
and we know that they are being set up. But De Niro doesn't.
Yeah, and in the original heist, so the heist at the start with Street Jesus, they steal some bonds from this armored vehicle. These bonds belong to this businessman who ends up basically getting...
He's trying to set them up to kill them. Yeah.
They ask him, they want to sell him back at 60 cents a dollar for him.
And we know that they're going into a trap. We know that De Niro's going into a trap. And then when we see it about to go wrong, it turns out that the rest of the crew are there and he takes him out. And it was a real cool turn of events.
And straight after that, then he calls him up. He calls the businessman, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's just like,
you know who
am I speaking to? I'm speaking because there's no one on the end of the phone or whatever. And then John Cena turns up and he goes, you can't see me.
I'm speaking to nobody because there's no one on the end of the phone because he's a dead man.
Yeah, it was way cooler. It was way cooler when Robert De Niro said it. I'm speaking to no one. What are you talking about? There's no one on the phone. You're gonna die.
Sorry, who am I speaking to again? No one. No, wait. No, I'm speaking to no one. You're speaking to Robert De Niro.
City Walk, can I take your order, please?
Yeah, so that was good. There was a scene where what's the guy who you said was a mouth breather called?
Val Kilmer.
There was a scene where his girlfriend was going to betray him to keep the kids safe, and in the last second chooses not to.
Yeah,
that was really, really cool.
That was cool.
Yeah,
there were cool bits. I mean,
there were just some really, really great moments, and the conversations where Al Pacino goes in and just goes a bit crazy. They were very entertaining. They were very entertaining to watch, and there was some. On revision, some real fundamental issues with the plot and the acting and some of the directing.
Yeah, and the romance bits were forced, and on both sides. So the romance was very forced. Like, obviously, they need to show that. So they need to show that he's questioned his principles, but then he does a U-turn, which admittedly it was cool that he did
at the end.
Well, yeah, when he essentially. The opportunity comes up for him to decide to stick with his girl because the Heat do come around the corner. He gets cornered after essentially murdering Waingro because he goes back. He's in the clear.
Yeah,
they're about to fly off. They've got their getaway. He's all sorted. He's actually managed to do the heist well enough, survive it with the money. Somehow,
did he have any money at that point?
They had some. They had the
car.
So he had some.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're like the big duffel bags.
He was so definitely going to go kill Waingro.
That was another thing. So they walked through with he made his way through this whole unit of squad cars with a man on his arm, and on his other arm was
pretty amazing, isn't it?
Millions of dollars.
Biggest duffel bag I've ever seen in my life. Yeah,
and one arm he was.
Yeah, anyway. So we have one arm with the bloke, one arm with the bag, and one arm with the gun. Yeah. He's a brilliant guy. Turns out having three arms is very helpful for heisting.
So yeah, then he picks up the lady. What was her name? Jeannie. Edie. Decide they get in the clear. They're out of there.
Pretty cool. He chooses to go kill Waingro.
He finds out, he gets a tip that actually Waingro's still alive. He's in this hotel, which is actually a trap set by Pacino's character. And so he can't help himself. He's got to go. Which I get that, but I don't know. It's the way he goes, like, you know what? He's on the phone to the person giving him the tip and he says, nah, doesn't matter to me. I'm about to go. And then he decides, actually, no, I'm not.
He changes his mind, Fred.
Yeah, but he's very fickle for a character who's supposed to be so principled.
I mean, like, I was thinking of suggesting that the point in the film is let me just get this right. The line between these characters' commitment to their job and their lives. And so, like, throughout the whole film, we're constantly reminded, like, okay, so their lives are being ruined by this, but they're very, very, very committed people. They're like, and therefore, what decisions are they going to make?
Yeah.
So, like, for me, I really liked the way they did the ending, where it was like, what's the decision that this character's going to make after all of this? Because he had a fork in the road. Right. And it was like the whole film was about, are these guys more about their lifestyle, their jobs, or are they more about the family? And that decision, that moment where he had to make that decision, and there were a couple of them at the end, he had to decide whether to take the risk to kill Waingro. He had to decide whether to leave Edie behind or not. I really liked the fact that they were put in that position at the end where they had to make that choice.
Well, equally, it makes the love story feel rushed. Yes, I do get that what they had to do is they had to show that he's a principled guy, but he's had something that questions his principles. And so what he's going to do is get into a situation where it's a yes or he has this question. But the fact that he did actually reverse and go back to originally how he was made me think that it just seemed even more shoehorned, this love story, because why on earth has he said to this woman that you're actually the only reason I need to carry on?
To be put in that position.
Yes,
you know,
but if it's purely for the purpose of the position, then it degrades the...
So would the only outcome have been okay is if he'd have chose to go with her? Because then there's no choice at all.
No, I think that if you are going to add something like that to change a person's... Like, the idea is this is going to jeopardize his principle.
Yeah.
And you want it to seem like it actually could.
Yeah.
Then the reversal of that at the end has to have some sort of real pull to it, rather than it just felt like, okay, now
it wasn't
changes
significant enough.
I felt it devalued they were trying to make this love story have value, and it really didn't feel like it had any value.
Yeah.
And then the fact that U-turn made you think, yeah, it didn't.
I don't think that the love story was the thing that they were trying to make valuable. I think it was the fact that he was trying to choose between,
Which is fair enough.
To an extent, I would even argue that he wasn't going with Edie because he really was in love with Edie. He wanted to go with Edie because he wanted to be in love with her. He wanted to have that life. And what he realised was that there wasn't enough in that for him, and because like you say, the whole thing felt so shallow, and so like that kind of makes sense with why it felt like he was going with Edie because
just for the sake of it,
because of the principle of like maybe this whole walk out in 30 seconds when you feel the heat coming around the corner, maybe there are some flaws to this. Let's explore that idea. No, actually, no, that's a dumb
and I
idea,
suppose if you're like, okay, and he is actually a bad person, then yeah, that would make sense. I think that similarly, the issue for me is, okay, so yeah, I like the decision aspect of it, even though it does feel a bit like it made the love story feel forced. But if it's from the lens of he's doing it just to test himself, fair enough. Similarly, though, Pacino's issue of she's going to cheat on you, basically his part wife, isn't it?
Yeah.
Throughout the film, gets annoyed that he's a workaholic.
Yeah.
And
which
obviously
he said to her at the start of their relationship.
Yeah.
You have to share me with my job.
Yeah. And he's...
And she's
it seems like she's annoyed. And then she just decides to sleep with another person and make sure that he comes back to see this guy.
What a total bitch.
Yeah, it seemed that as well.
Like, and why was the kid there? Like, for the story, I mean. Like, what the hell was all that about?
I was so certain that her dad would be Robert De Niro.
I thought her dad was going to be Waingro.
Yeah, maybe that would make sense.
I was like, it's got to be Waingro.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, well, they never did. They never told us. They just went like,
which I kind of liked.
We just wanted Natalie Portman in the movie.
I was so confident because I knew about the scene of the two meeting.
Yeah.
So I was like, why on earth would they meet? Because surely that's not something that the police do before they actually are going to arrest someone. Well, they meet them for a coffee.
Unusual. It's not very good. You're not following the usual police chasing usual bank robbers. So that wouldn't be a very good film. Following procedure.
So in my head,
everything just went as expected.
Surely we can still arrest these guys. No! Do you remember that bit where they break in to that place?
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm not letting you arrest anyone.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. But
smart. That
one
he had a justification.
That made sense, even though I'm sure, I don't know if he would be allowed to do that, but maybe it would. So, I lost my train of thought. But
well, okay,
whatever.
Then let's get on to the new section that I've just thought of called "Let's Talk About the Romance in the Movie." Okay. So we've spoken about Edie.
Okay.
Which, what the hell was all that about? What was she doing with him? They'd only met each other once, which is just bloody typical. This movie is almost 3 hours long. They had plenty of time to flesh out these relationships. I don't get why she was with him. I don't get why he was with her, right? So there's that. Who are the other relationships? Then there's Al Pacino's relationship. What the hell is going on there? Yeah. Why is she with... It's not like he's changed.
No.
Why is she with him? Right? Because he's like, yeah, when we got together, I told you would have to share with me. He's like, yeah, but that's just not what I was expecting.
yeah.
Another bad romance relationship, right?
And another one where the reveal of her cheating
just doesn't make sense.
Like the scene that she was in before that was her getting ready to go out.
Yeah.
And it was like, he was like, so am I not going out with you anymore then?
Yeah,
or something like that. And it was like, oh, okay, whatever. It's obviously getting a bit strained, but you felt like they really could have done more to say that it was going to the point where she basically completely flipped. Like, she decided to cheat on him and make sure that he saw when this guy was in there that I've just slept with this guy, by the way.
Poor Bob, by the way. I think his name was Boss, man.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Man was just like, just doing his thing.
I know. And Al Pacino did not give a fuck as well, which was kind of cool.
He was very cool in that scene.
Yeah,
like, he was like, sit down! And he was like, okay.
That scene where he's really cool. Cool, calm, and collected. Sit down! So, yeah, he comes in. He's very cool. He's just had a night out. He goes, sit down! The guy's just like, hey man, oh my god, I did not know, even though he's sleeping on their sofa.
Yeah, well, no, he's watching telly and he's watching
football.
Is he? He's watching NFL,
American football,
which for those listening, at 1 hour 23 is the Super Bowl tonight.
Yeah, so, very nice.
So, but yeah, the romance section. So who else have we got? What else have we?
Caitlyn Jenner. That was a bit of a stinker.
Was it? Not in terms of like how good was the relationship, but how good was the story with the relationship. It turns up broken. That's where we start.
Okay.
And then like they kind of
she's been cheating.
They're struggling.
Yeah. I don't know how
he's been cheating on her. Yeah.
Has he?
Yeah, because when De Niro came back to his house and he was there, De Niro said, "Has she been sleeping with other people?" And he said, "Definitely not." And he said, "Have you been sleeping with other people?" And he went, "Not repeatedly."
I missed that line.
Yeah. He went, no one. He basically went, no one more than once. Right. Like that was okay. So they both were cheating on each other.
Okay.
And then she's put in a position where she has to betray him, or she has a decision to make, and she makes the right decision.
Yeah.
Absolute hero.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know the person who, let's just keep calling everyone Bob, the one who she cheated with, who ended up being
Bob,
running from the law.
Yeah, Bob.
Do you recognize him at all?
I did, but I don't know where from.
He is in The Simpsons. I mean, you wouldn't recognize him from that, but he's one of the voice actors.
He's one of the voice actors.
He's also in Run Fat Boy Run.
Right. Okay.
I'm trying to think of things that you'd actually see his face. He's like a Mo in The Simpsons, as well as others.
Yeah. So the romance for the main protagonist, not good. The romance for the other main protagonist, not good. And I mean, like, not just the romance wasn't good, the writing wasn't good.
Danny Trejo. So he
didn't get a choice when they were trying to decide on the final heist. Are you going to do it again? Yeah, I think I will. Are you going to do it again? Yeah, I think I will. The Mexican guy's in. Like, wait, do I know?
Obviously, the Mexican guy's in. Yeah, he was. He really didn't have much of a part, did he? Right until the betrayal. So we think he's betrayed everyone, but it's turned out it's Waingro who's threatened his family.
He did betray them a bit, though.
He did betray him, but we thought it was just for the sake of it. But he was actually tortured. His wife was taken, and she was killed.
Yeah, that was sad.
And then we see him in kind of a bloody, basically a puddle at the end, miraculously alive.
Well, when he turns up, Fred, because he, like everyone else, had plot armor.
Alive to explain what has happened.
Yeah.
And then De Niro puts him down. And then De Niro's on the warpath, kills Van Zandt, pretty cool.
Yeah.
His killing of Waingro was very cool. Look at me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
And then the final shootout between...
Okay.
How in God's green earth did...
The final shootout between...
Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. How on earth did Al Pacino track him down after he ran off?
Well, Fred, it would be because he went to the airport.
Why was the airport right next to... That was convenient, wasn't it? That
No, it wasn't convenient, Fred. Everyone wants to be near the airport in this film. Why would you not want to be near the airport if you're a bank robber?
They're on the way to the airport.
You want to be able to hop over the fence and run into him.
He's like, we've got a flight. Their plan is to basically, a flight's going to stop off, I think.
Yeah, and then 5 minutes.
For 5 minutes, this flight is going to stop off. Yeah. It's all planned. So Robert De Niro and Jeannie are going to be able to hop on and then fly off into the distance.
Into the sunset.
No problemo.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to stop me from doing this. Ring. By the way, Waingro's in this hotel. Doesn't matter. I don't even care.
I'm off. He's next to the airport.
Oh,
well, okay. If it's only a quick detour.
Why didn't you say? I'm at the airport. So he does a Huey. Drives off.
Even though he's going to the airport the hotel.
So he goes to the hotel.
Next to the airport.
the chances.
Yeah, but he needs to do a Huey.
Because the hotel that he was in...
The one next to the airport.
He knew he needed to be in the airport. Waingro needed to be in the airport. The police obviously happened to... It happened to be the airport that Robert De Niro was about to fly out of the country from.
LAX, that makes sense.
To be fair, is there only one airport in LA?
Maybe. Maybe X means 10. Maybe it was very lucky.
Shit. He's by the airport, but it's only LAIV.
Which one? God damn it!
He's by LAII.
Can we not just call LA4, please, for the love of God?
So he goes and kills Waingro. He ditches his ED because he sees only Al Pacino's character, by the way.
Yeah.
Might add, he's set the fire alarm off to kill Waingro. All the police have seen him go in and kill him, and they're all running in to try and stop him.
Did they see him do that?
They saw him they had him on a camera feed, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I don't think they saw him kill him.
Out
but
they
saw, but they did see him. They're like, shit, there he is. Because they saw him like knocking the door down or coming out.
Yeah.
So they all are
as the cop.
As everyone's leaving, all the policemen are coming in, and still he manages to get out, no problem, whatever. The only person who spots him is bloody Al Pacino, because he's got the sixth sense. I know where he's going to be. That car. Why is that car over there? I'm going to wander over to that.
What the hell was that about? Yeah.
Al Pacino.
Look, there's a car.
Al Pacino.
That must be
all of the people that he's with, all the police are like, we need to storm this hotel, because we know exactly where this is. Yeah. We'll catch him. We'll pinch a movement in. But Al Pacino's like, what about that car?
Guys, hang on a minute. There's a car outside.
Give me that shot. Didn't he go, give me that shotgun?
Yeah.
Scene where he takes some guy's shotgun.
No uniform on.
And they're all like, I'm not getting in the way of this mental go-get. So they let him run off with his shotgun.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a scene. They see each other from a distance. And De Niro decides to sack off Evie, runs off.
Good man.
Which was admittedly quite cool.
Yeah.
Runs off. There's a fire ambulance in the way. Whatever it is. He gets way well into the crowd. No one has a clue where he'd be going.
Mm-hmm.
Big distance put between them before Pacino then runs around the corner.
Yeah.
The next scene, De Niro's now in an airport. He's hopping the fences into an airport.
Yeah.
And Pacino is...
Which is next door.
Pacino is he's right on his tail. He knows exactly where he is. Yeah. How did...
He know where to chase
There was a very convenient cut of...
Okay, so I think that you can make the case for him chasing him as far as where they had eventually they stop in this little collection of tiny little cabins that provide cover for this exciting little showdown. I think it's fair enough that Pacino chased him as far as that because he could have kept catching glimpses of him. What I didn't understand was how he knew to stop there because he didn't see him there. No. He didn't just go like, oh, he must still be here. So he just chose that spot to just stop chasing.
He would just stop for a breather.
And he was just like, well, I might as well have a look around very intensely.
So they end up, I mean, what I remember from the scene, he goes past him at the fire ambulance, gets in the way. what is it called? It's not a fire truck. Fire engine. Fire engine.
No, I think fire
Fire
ambulance might be the right
ambulance.
name. Fred.
Fire ambulance.
The fire ambulance.
The fucking fire ambulance. So he goes, when he gets past it, I remember him looking about and there's a crowd of people. There's no way he'd ever spot him. And then the next scene, he's on him again. Obviously, he stops at this point, as you say. And then the final shootout, it's just so like, all right, here we go.
There were some things that were unforgivable. I felt like you could just say that you could see him at each glimpse before he went around the corner. Oh. There were other things where it was like, come on, that's ridiculous. Like Wayne Grow at the start being part of the crew. Where it's just like, this whole thing could have been avoided if De Niro didn't have this thing about just bringing in loose cannons right at the last minute to organize everything meticulously planned, and then just brings in a random guy at the end.
Well,
I mean, okay, here is an inconsistency that I've just noticed in De Niro, right? They're burgling the bullion, the gold.
What?
The bullion. That's what they call it, right?
They're burgling the bullion.
The bullion. That's what it's called, isn't it?
Okay, which bit are they... When do they burgle bullion?
Pacino's in the stakeout, in the back of the lorry, watching them break into that building to steal the metals.
Yeah. That's not for bullion, is it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, they said there were 3 things in there. There was like different metals. It was a metal storage facility.
Okay.
And De Niro is stood outside keeping watch, and he is so careful, this professional man, so careful about his heist that he hears a clang somewhere at some point and calls the whole operation off when they are seconds away from getting the money because of a clang.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the final heist. 1/4 of their crew doesn't turn up in the last minute, and he has to hire a grill man.
Did you see that guy over there? He's grilling a pretty mean burger.
I know him. He's called Alan. He's not very good. He's already been in prison.
He's an arsonist.
Should we just do it anyway?
Hey, Alan, still driving cars? yeah, I can drive. Right, we need a driver.
We need a driver.
You're perfect.
Where do you need a lift? No, what?
It was nice when he, pushed the manager over. Fair
that was a real tragic storyline.
It was sad that, and you know what, that was probably get it up to a few points in that. I love it when in a film they randomly just fucking been chatting for so long. They randomly just like interject a plot point that makes no sense to you at the time. So we have these 2 guys. He's clearly an ex-con. He's getting started at this grill, this bar, this diner.
Yeah, trying to make it good again.
I was like, where have we seen him? I couldn't remember which character. I was trying to work out which character it was. I assumed he must have been from the film earlier. Yeah. And then what I love is when something like that comes full circle. It turns out they just put that in there.
Yeah.
For no,
they laid that seed. Then now it's
and basically
laying a seed.
They laid that seed.
My lady.
Pacino was laying that seed in the first scene of the film that he was in.
Every single kissing scene was very uncomfortable. So,
But anyway, it turns out, and he ended up having a very tragic story where he died.
That was real sad. That was very sad.
And also, did you think that the way they showed him when he was dead was kind of really horrific? He looked so lifeless as the car was.
The whole thing from the bank robbery going wrong. That whole thing was like, it was a bit ridiculous. 100%. And I knew that at the time, but it didn't stop it from being super powerful and exciting. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, it's ridiculous that they are still alive. However, it's very obvious that at any second one of them could die. And we've just seen a character who we know is trying to make it good, who's this good guy who's just got out of prison. He's got this woman who loves him, who's trying to get him a better job, and he just gets brutally murdered at the start. And so it's like, it's ridiculous, but it was very exciting. And it was it was very powerful, and it was very like, this could go it's going worse and worse and worse. There is no way on God's green earth we're going to get out of this. And then he just carries him out and walks off. But he did get out of it.
So that's a very famous, that high scene, the actual shootout, which didn't do it for me. But I feel like we've absolutely gone for hours on this one. So
should we do 1 minute categories at the end?
I reckon we should. I need to piss first, so we will have to stop for 1 second. I want to just say, so for the purpose of, say a listener is actually, I was going to say, if they've listened through to this, should they watch the film? And then I was like,
oh yeah, should you watch
why
the film?
On earth would they watch it after we've just chatted, told in all of the plot points?
In a very non-sequential, chaotic way, just giving you all of the interesting bits and said why they're shit.
What we should start doing next time is we should do our gut reaction, and then we should say, should you watch the film? Yes or no, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Rather than
for future listeners, though, should you watch the film? No, probably not. No, it's 3 hours. It's 3 hours.
It's so long.
And Fred's convinced me it's not a very good film.
When would you find the time to watch this film? It's 3 hours long.
Remove Natalie Portman, right? there's 10 minutes. Just get rid of that.
Natalie Portman's in it for the sole purpose of her killing herself at the end.
For no reason at all.
No reason whatsoever.
It's like, yeah, she's having a tough time. Yeah, she's a bit sad at the minute, but
she found his hotel room to kill us. She found her
stepdad's
hotel room to kill herself in his bathroom.
Right. Let's not get sidetracked. We really need to close this.
She was the best character.
She was
10.
She was, yeah. Okay, 10. 10 for what?
10 for
everything.
Genre realization.
Right.
All right. So we're gonna go straight back into it, and we're gonna do some 1 minute categories. We've got 20 seconds to round off, and we're gonna tell you what the categories are in a moment. Let me just go for a quick whiz, and then we'll be back.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, Dave.
Cool. Cheers, Dad.
Okay, welcome back to part 2.
Yes. Can you just check that I'm coming through? Yeah.
Yeah. We got you.
Now, as part of the show, what we do is we rank these films. So obviously we've done gut reaction. We have 7 categories, which the idea is to be a bit more objective on these. So we're going to rank the films rather than go fully, emotional about it and how we feel and maybe put our own biases in there. We're going to try and be fair and compare them, importantly, to the other films that we've ranked. Now, this is episode 2, but on the spreadsheet, which is available potentially as we speak, if not, it'll be out soon, you're going to have the ability to see the 15 films that we've ranked so far. Some of them we didn't ever record, so you're going to just have to take our word for it that they are that good or bad. So these 7 film categories, we're going to go through one at a time, and we're going to give a 2-minute timer this time because we really overran on how much we typically talk about the film.
A while, didn't we?
And we basically touched on a few of the points anyway. So we're going to have 2 minutes to give it a score out of 10, not to one decimal place this time. We both have to agree on a score this time. If it's a lower score, typically we'll go with the lower one, unless there's a big gap, and we'll try and meet in the middle somewhere. But that's the main gist of what we're about to do now for you. Nice. 2 minutes. Beautiful. All right, 2 minutes on the clock then.
Right.
So the first category.
Time's going. It's plot. Right. Plot. What do we think of the plot? Great driving force. Some real issues with it. Same again.
I would below 5.
Wait, what? No, there was at least knock it out to it. No.
What was
there was some real problems with plot.
The Exorcist got a 5. A Few Good Men got a 4. 6 Space Odyssey. To be fair, some of them I just don't understand. Like Space Odyssey, why we gave that a 6? That was pretty good.
Here we go.
You got Psycho back, have you?
Nope.
What were those there? Well, Psycho, that was 10.
Look, Fred, we're running out of time. Just get on with it, mate.
That was a 10 for that.
Oh, it will be. Yeah, it will be Psycho. Right.
Right. I reckon, Pete, I would go with a... I don't think it was better than A Few Good Men's plot.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'll go for a 4.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Just
After all the the betrayals and the like the excitement of the killer at the end, and yeah, there were a lot of problems with it.
I thought,
but
the
it was
problems.
great.
I thought you hated problems. I thought the problems really detracted from it in this case.
I'm getting used to it with the classics.
In some of them, like in
get on with it. We're running out of time. Go, 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 go.
It's a 4.
It's not a 4. It's a 5.
We go with the lower as at least bump it up higher. Look, it just had so much wrong with it for me. It just everything seemed to the decisions I didn't think any of them made sense.
4 out of time. Okay.
Character. Oh, this is going to be a weird one though.
I'm going to have to reset the timer. Just give it a second.
All right. Well,
all right, character go. We're out of time.
I'm going to try and think of some. All right. Good characters. De Niro.
Al Pacino's performance was bad, but his character was good.
Yes.
De Niro's character was good.
But I think Pacino's character was better than De Niro's.
But they were both good. They were both very cool characters. They were both really cool.
Yeah. Okay. If De Niro's character purposefully was stringing her along, that's pretty cool.
He was with her because he wanted the concept of a love life, not actually her.
If he was actually like a psychopath, which he could have been,
definitely was.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Which other characters?
Who are the worst characters?
Like written characters, Waingro, I guess. Why is he there?
Yeah, he's a little bit of like he's meant to be an asshole.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's a nuisance, and the wife of Pacino.
Yeah.
So there are a few, but they weren't like terrible, unforgivable characters, were they? And they were the worst ones we can come up with.
Yeah. To be fair, there were some pretty cool characters.
I reckon characters are one of the best parts of it.
Yeah. All right. I'm thinking.
Is it great? Is it great characters? Are there some characters that stand out amongst the rest? What have we got? We've got 40 seconds. I'm going to arrange them.
An 8.
8 would put it in the same category as the thing in Casablanca, but we said with the thing other than
character, arrange character.
We're out of time. Quick. Right, there you go. 8. 8 would put it with Citizen Kane,
Princess Bride.
7 would put it with Empire Strikes Back, Space Odyssey, Alien. It's definitely better than those. Is it got as good characters as Casablanca, Apocalypse Now, and Chinatown?
Maybe.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
But it does have a few. It has more worse characters, doesn't it? I think they're not that bad.
I think 9. It's got to be, sure.
Oh, fine. If it's given it a 4 for plot, give it a 9.
Okay. Where is it?
I don't know what's happened.
Okay, cool. Right, that'll do for now. I can sort that out more later.
Some editing magic there from Jambo.
As always.
All right, dialogue. Dialogue. I would say that it was pretty good.
Wait. The time is not going. Right, go.
Yeah, all right.
Dialogue.
The dialogue was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was some brilliant dialogue.
Great ass!
There was some... Yeah, the dialogue was brilliant. The dialogue was one of the best points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the...
I tell you, we didn't talk about John
super
Voight's character. So the fence, the guy who fixes things for people. The like middleman for.
Oh yeah, he was cool.
He was pretty cool.
Very cool, wasn't he?
Anyway, dialogue. Yeah,
the conversations between them, the way that they said so much with so few words on the phones was just awesome. Like,
you know what annoyed me more about those scenes was not the dialogue. It was actually the way they were acting, because I felt it was a bit like. Ugh.
So the dialogue then, should I order them?
If they weren't both, if it wasn't Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, I would probably. I think it was the whole point that these guys are in their first film together. We're even going to put a special scene where these two, the two protagonists in this cat and mouse game, are going to have a scene together, and it's Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. And I can just imagine the trailers for it being De Niro, Pacino,
yeah.
And then they were like forcing it. I didn't like, but the dialogue of the scene was pretty good.
And I'm looking at
cool when they were talking about putting each other.
I'm looking at our 8s. Space Odyssey, Citizen Kane, better than those without a doubt.
Yeah.
9s, we've got Princess Bride and Godfather. Princess Bride and Godfather, and then 10 we've got Casablanca.
Yeah, I would probably say 9.
Yeah,
I think that 10 Casablanca was pretty cool.
But think how many quotes there are. Like, who, what are you, a fucking owl, who?
Even stuff like
great ass.
What's that?
That's a great.
It's the one that stuck with you so much.
That's just one of the ones I remember.
I don't even remember.
Quick, Fred, we're out of time. 9 or 10?
I know. 9.
Fucking, you're such a Right. There you go. Nope. Okay. Right. I just need to let it run out. Okay.
If there's any, when it's a 10, if there's any deliberation, we should be putting it as a
Okay, cool. So
performance.
Wait.
Right. So
Go.
I can't get ahead of it when the time's time, but we'll rush
Just
right
go.
at the end. Performance. 3?
What were the most redeeming moments?
They
in the
were
performances?
all right.
De Niro's was very, very
was
good.
Yeah. I didn't like any of the
That was basically
females really, but I don't know if I disliked.
Whoa.
I don't know if I disliked Pacino's wife because of her performance. I think her character was a bit weird, but
I think the performance was one of the weakest parts of the film.
Yeah, I think Pacino was all. I don't care if he was.
Empire Strikes Back 4, A Few Good Men 6. And
Was
then,
the performance worse than the plot?
I would say it's actually about on par in terms of how much of a problem it was.
I'm loving this. We're getting to. We've had 2. I know
Right.
no one's listened to any of these episodes, but we've done quite a few, and we're doing classics. So all of these generally do quite well.
Very, very well.
And so it's nice for us to have some fucking stinkers. Yeah.
And this one, we are going to give a 4 out of 10 for performance with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in it.
Definitely only because of Pacino's performance. The others were completely passable.
No, but it was passable at best.
Yeah, I know, but 4 isn't like passable, is it? That's like bad.
Nah. What about the mouth breather guy's wife? She was not very good, I didn't think.
She wasn't that great. Edie was bad. She wasn't very good.
Edie wasn't very good.
I tell you how you can tell, because she's never been in anything since that I can remember.
Good. 4 out of 10. That is bloody brilliant, boys.
Visuals. Visuals.
I've got to reset the timer, Freddie,
Mate,
for God's
this timer.
sakes. What do you mean this timer? Like we're gonna keep track
You know
of
what?
2 minutes
You're
in our heads.
You're being a bit like Pacino's wife in this.
Goodness! Oh, the Pacino's wife. Hang on, it's not going. Oh, it's going. Go.
The visuals were good, weren't they?
Yeah, the visuals were good. It was all shot
Apart from
on
the green screen in the.
Oh yeah, they were shocking.
That was a bit bad.
Do you remember there were some POV shots? Did you notice those? Watch the Waingro killing scene. Kicks down the door, and then for like maybe 20 odd frames, like almost a second, you get a POV cam of De Niro kicking or punching or something Waingro onto the ground. And it wasn't the only one. They did it a couple times. It was a bit jarring, but it was kind of cool. I liked it.
I find POVs are odd.
It was very weird.
Yeah,
but
I
it was
didn't
cool.
notice it though, so it can't have been that bad.
Interestingly, it was unusual with the way it was shot in that it was all shot on what's called a teleoptic, very, very long lens. And so what that meant was a lot of the scenes you had very clear pictures of the faces and then very blurred out backgrounds.
Right.
And it kind of made this very stylized dreamlike thing going on. And it was quite it was quite cool to watch. Like the whole the city, very, very cool.
Yeah, I did. I like a good tracking landscape shot of cities.
Yeah.
Big fan of those. Really setting the scene, especially for an iconic city like LA.
Yeah.
And also, it's Michael Mann. For the audience, visuals, we don't have a category for direction because we don't really know enough about it. But if we're going to give a director a bit of credence, it'll be in the visuals category. And this is his like magnum opus. I don't even know what Michael Mann's done other than this.
I don't even know what magnum opus means.
I don't even know what Magnum Man Michael's 6.
No,
it's good.
No.
8.
What would 8 put it with?
Right,
The Exorcist, Crouching Tiger, Godfather.
Yeah,
8.
nice, sick.
Okay.
Sound.
Let me get it. I'm gonna get it ordered this time. Before
Okay,
we
this is good
start.
actually. Seeing these all ordered, I don't get to see these usually.
Okay, go.
So, I would say we gave A Few Good Men loads of 2s at the end.
We gave it a 2 for sound.
I would say that the sound on the that R&B bit I didn't like.
Okay, I loved the sound.
You have strong opinions on this.
The
I fucking loved it.
the gunfire in the final scene, actual gunfire, super jarring, and I noticed it at the time. It was very exciting. The scene where he gets out the helicopter, gets in the car and chases him. Joy Division song.
Was it?
And it was Moby did a remix of it, and it was awesome. It was just unnecessarily cinematic and cool, and it wouldn't have worked without the song. Generally, the sound effects were very, very good for a 1990s movie, and the score was super exciting. So, like, I would be very upset to give it anything lower than an 8.
The clicking.
The clicking was phenomenal.
Excellent.
I wish I could click like that. That's got to be added on. Dubbed on afterwards.
If Pacino had clicked through the score, it would have been a 10.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Right.
Do you reckon that's what the sound they use for the gunshots was?
It's just Pacino clicking at everyone. Right, I'm going to give that a 8.
I didn't really have much of an opinion on it, so 8 I'm happy with.
Legend.
What other 8s were there?
It would be, oh my God, there's quite a few 8s. I'm going to list them very quickly. Princess Bride, Exorcist, Alien, The Thing, Psycho.
Can we give performance a 5? I'm just thinking we've given quite a few 4s. I feel like we need to get a bit more variety in the spreadsheet, even if it's just for the sake of it. I think that performance is better.
Time up, Freddie. Shut up.
All right, it's time for our favourite. We should give ourselves 2 hours for this section.
Oh, I'm going to crank up the time on this one.
So, for the audience, whilst Jamie does put 2 minutes,
2 minutes 10, let's go. Genre, realisation. Freddie, explain to the audience exactly what it is.
Why are we doing this in the time?
Do it.
Genre realisation. No one really knows what this is, but what we're going with recently has been find out what the genre is for the film. How much does it realise that?
Yes. Yeah.
No, so
I'm glad that you all feel like you know a little more about this podcast.
If a film is like a romantic film, how iconic is it within that category? How much does it meet the genre? How much does it represent the genre?
Are we going in terms of iconicness today?
I think what we've done so far has been we've had loads of classic films and we've had a lot of 10s for this because typically they are like
genre
the film. Yeah, so we've had Godfather, we've had Chinatown, 2001: A Space Odyssey. So we've had films that are very much the epics within their genre. So it's meant a lot of 10s. Yeah. But I think we stick with that because we know that when we do start doing other films that aren't classics, they're going to actually fall short of the genre that they're in rather than...
I agree.
With this being one.
Is it? Yeah. Did you not say at the start of this podcast...
What genre is it?
On audio, like we recorded you saying this, right? I think part of the problem was...
It was the first.
It was the first of this genre that it defined. And so it felt a little corny.
It was the first... Look, people have taken notes from this. I don't know why they have, because it's
But is that not exactly what you just said genre realization is?
All right.
This is genre defining as it gets.
Listen, don't give it a 10.
It's a 10. It's so definitely a 10.
What genre is it? What we're talking?
It's heist. It's heist drama.
Heist. Yeah, to be fair, if we're going with it, I was thinking if it
Christopher
was like
Nolan bloody like you can tell that every film he's it's a 10.
Yeah, to be fair, if it's a heist film, it probably is a 10, isn't it? It's like the
thank God.
One of those.
Thank God we had the extra 10 seconds there.
All right, go on. What have we got for a score? So finally we do a ranking of the average for our.
We've taken the average for our critical score. I'm going to order everything for us. So we have. I've lost it. Where is it? We have. Where is it? Heat. Oh, that's not very good. So the average score across the 7 very carefully selected categories of objective film ranking puts Heat 1995 at a 7.6 out of 10, which, to be fair,
very happy with that.
After discussing it, is actually it's 7.6 on IMDb isn't bad.
You know what I'm always happy with when the critical score reflects the when it's close to my gut feel.
Yeah, that just means that you've been bloody tirading over my opinion, doesn't it?
No, I think you had a fair sway in that one, and when I'm always going to be happy if a critical score is close to what you said on the gut reaction. That means okay.
Well, so that would put it. So 7.6 is critical score for Heat. 7.1, the one below it, would be The Exorcist.
I can't believe we. Man,
Can I just say, by the way, that
really
The Princess
horrible.
Bride and The Thing comes after this?
Where's The Princess Bride?
11 best. 8.1.
Yeah, but there's also Alien and Casablanca.
Yeah. But I'm just saying it's pretty amazing that The Exorcist and Heat got a lower score than The Princess Bride.
Oh, nah. Princess Bride's a good film.
Anyway.
Very good film.
Should we do our summary and wrap this bad boy up?
Oh, yeah. Go on. You go for the scores. You break it down for us.
Okay, so
I'll do a bit of
the
clicking.
Mate Night Podcast, episode 2, has come to the conclusion that Heat, 1995, directed by Michael Mann, starring Robert De Niro, got a 8.10 average gut feel entertainment score, which is made up 8.7 out of 10 for Jamie, is what I'm going with in this, and 7.5. You can call me Jamie, I'm not used to it. 7.5 for Harry.
I'm going to call you Jamie.
I'm going to try that again. 995, episode 2, the Mate Night Podcast has determined that it got a 7.5 out of 10 for entertainment for Harry, and 8.7 out of 10 for Jamie, and an average score for entertainment of an 8.1 out of 10 for entertainment.
For gut reaction, just for the purposes of...
God fucking damn it, Fred. That was supposed to be clippable.
Go one more time.
That was supposed to be a clip. We're supposed to be able to turn this into a short. Right. I'm just going to... So I know I'm in a minute.
All right, go on. All right. Heat.
What the fuck?
All right. Heat, Michael Mann, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, came out in 1995. Our gut reaction score was 8.1, which is made up of a 7.5 from me, Harry, and an 8.7 from Jambo. From the 7 categories, we had plot at a 4, character at a 9, dialogue at a 9, performance at a 5, visuals 8, sound 8, genre realization 10, and coming in at a critical score of 7.6, which puts it currently at the 5th worst film we have ranked out of 15 so far.
The 5th worst film that we have watched in our quest to watch every single film ever made.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we are 15 films into.
All right, I reckon that was... We did all right on that second part.
Yeah.
We had to rattle through because the first one was so
No,
long.
I kind of like the energy. 2 minutes is a bit of an awkward number.
I reckon the next one we try and go... I think 5 minutes is better.
Well, I tell you what,
But we need to not spend as long on the film.
let's settle on what next week's film is.
Yeah.
And then we can chat about this a little later.
For sure. That was fun, though.
Yeah, that was really fun. I am bloody hot
Nice.
in here.
Oh, it's boiling.
Way too hot. Right, okay. So we need to pick a film for next week. Now, there are a couple of things that we need to take into account. It's Valentine's Day coming up.
Wait.
More
But
importantly,
when are we actually recording?
it's Pancake Day coming up.
when we're not recording next week.
So we're having Valentine's pancake movies.
What? We're not going to be recording until next month, though, are we?
Right, okay, fine.
I mean, we could do a Valentine's Day film anyway.
We are going to record on the first week in March.
Yeah. What happens in March?
Is March
Easter?
not like a holy thing? Yeah.
Easter. Yeah.
When is it in March?
Should we do Passion of the Christ?
We were going to do that, weren't we?
Shall we? I've never watched it.
Is it not? We were going to do 2 films in
March.
But we said that we could do a couple of films for the Jesus Week.
What was the other one? Jesus Christ Superstar.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
We haven't done a musical yet.
Is it going to be kind of difficult to do 2 movies?
Yeah, it'll be a push.
Is it worth us doing... But it would be kind of good for us to get working through some
I
movies.
reckon we give it a try.
I still have no idea what I'm talking about when I was reviewing them.
I think it'd be good. We haven't recorded in ages, so this was a bit rusty, I reckon. I reckon that next one we've got, if we get 2 up in a month, we see if we can...
So which one are we doing?
I reckon we go Jesus Christ Superstar. It's funny, no one's going to watch these ones. We thought no one would watch Heat. But
someone might watch it.
Heat people are much more likely to watch than Jesus Christ Superstar and The Passion of the Christ.
Are we going to watch that in the same week though? Are we gonna double?
No, I reckon we do 2
Oh,
weeks.
I'm not doing that 2 weeks in a row. That's ridiculous, Fred.
What, you want to do double up?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I don't want to watch Jesus Christ Superstar and then Passion
And
of
then
Christ and
Passion
do
of the
2
Christ.
episodes on them. Fred, look at the 15 films we've done already. We've got like Godfather, Psycho. You want to chuck Jesus Christ Superstar and the Passion of Christ in there?
I'm happy doing only one.
All right,
But
we'll just do
I thought
one.
you were saying you wanted to do both.
If we're going to, we need to do it in 1 week.
Yeah.
Because I want to do something actually good for one of the weeks as well.
Yeah, fair enough. But it might be fun if we don't like one of them. I reckon we try Passion of the Christ because I don't.
Passion of the Christ, first week in March, posted by last week in March, episode 3. Thanks for listening.
That's going to be such a wild first 3 then. What was our first one? Psycho, Heat, Passion of the Christ. To be fair, it's eclectic, isn't it?
It's a great combination.
Oh, I'm excited for it. So Passion of the Christ getting out in March. In the meantime, we'll have a few. We'll clip this up so that you can listen to basically the whole second part. Really, it's going to be out.
Oh my goodness, 2 hours 5.
Yeah, but we're going to
Dave, thank you so much for listening.
cut a fair bit of this, right?
Future Freddy. Fuck you.
Nice one. All right, cheers, Dave.
Giving it such a low ranking. I hate you.
All right, have a good evening.
Thanks, Dave. See you in a bit, mate.
Bye.
Bye.